Alright, talk into the mic, see if that's working. Test 1, 2, 3. That sounds pretty good.
Yes?
Sounds good. We start off this podcast. I don't give a shit. I'm off the hook now, man. I don't have to deal with any more of this bullshit.
How do I start the podcast now?
Hey, welcome back, Miguel. It's Miguel's.
Dude, that was a perfect intro. You intro. I don't do intros.
All right. This is what I went to school for. Damn it. All right, so we'll start the podcast off at 3, 2, 1. Miguel, what is up, brother?
What's up, man? Long time since I've been on a podcast.
Yeah, here. I was starting to think you didn't like me anymore.
No,
like,
it's actually a good thing for our viewers, you know, to get different perspectives from other musicians, guitar makers.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy
good directors.
Yeah, it was a crazy month, man. I did a lot of traveling, interviewed some interesting people, ate some good food, trained jiu-jitsu.
There you go,
I spent some money that I shouldn't have, so I didn't buy anything, though.
And plenty of drinking some scotch.
Oh, my God. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Anyways.
That was painful. I went and trained the next day, man. That was sitting in my gut. I'm just, like, rolling around. I'm like, all right, you're a man. You can do this. It was awful. So, Miguel, back on the podcast.
Yeah,
Mariachi.
Man, I've missed it. PlayMariachi Podcast, man, and I missed, but I've been watching all the other interviews and has had like great points they've made, and
I got people riled up, man. That's why I take alcohol with me and a smile. Take alcohol and a smile, and people will tell you their life story, man.
Oh yeah,
and it was great. It was a great time, and that's what we had on camera. It was very nice and very well done. I was actually particularly proud of. You never are like. You never look at your own work and think, oh, that's fucking... Every time I look at something, I'm like, shit. I could have set the camera up better, or I could have done the audio better, or I could have asked better questions, or I could have had a better voice that doesn't sound like a 10-year-old chick. And... But the last couple of podcasts I did, they were really good. Yeah. At least I thought they were. So then maybe they suck. I don't know. But everybody talked about some stuff, and they started getting really into it. I started getting them riled up and, talking about, shit that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago that got them into the culture in the first place. And you're just like, that's what I want, right? Because we all have that connection of, I started out with, my tío's garage, or at a school, or this mentor, that principal, my dad, my mom, all this shit, man. It's amazing. It's fun stuff. You should have been with me. Thanks a lot.
No, well, you know what? I was doing my own extraordinary things.
Yeah, you got your kids. Your kids are coming along.
They're coming along. It's Mariachi Corazón del Valle here in Phoenix, and we. But last Sunday we opened up for Los Tigres.
Saw that.
In January when we backed up Recera Beltran.
Yeah, that was fun.
We got the Mariachi Conference.
Mariachi Conference. That's not a couple. Well, it's literally like a week.
Yeah,
a week away because Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, a week away to go back to the Mariachi Conference, but this time take a Phoenix group.
Man,
so it's gonna be
a little unheard of in a long time.
Very, very unheard of for sure. And like I said, we're only 2 hours apart, but it's kind of like
talking night and day.
Yeah, that's night and day for sure. May 3rd, Mariachi Vargas will be here.
Yeah,
we get to open up for that.
So are you guys doing a full set for Vargas, or are you just
45-minute set? 45-minute set.
Talk about pressure, kids! If you're watching this podcast, woo, that's tough, man.
But it's good, I think all of us in the mariachi world during that age. 16 to 19.
That's a spot to be.
That's what I'm trying to, give them that experience so they can appreciate, what they do
when they're adults like us,
and playing out in the real world, Be
on stage with Vargas. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those memories of opening up for Vargas and Chongos, and then opening up for Camperos and playing alongside with Cobre, with Roberto and Frank back when I was like 16, 17, changed my whole life. You know what I mean? Maybe it would have been just, all the way to high school, and then I would have went to college and never did it again, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, being on stage like that, being exposed to like a couple thousand people who are cheering for you, and fuck.
Yeah, it was like when I was with Sonido, and
you guys are opening up for Soul and all this stuff.
All kinds of big events. Well, I opened up for the conference that one year.
Oh, that's right.
And then when we were in Rosarito, we got to be on stage with Mariachi Vargas. I was like, beachside. What else would you want, man?
Great life. It's like if you died after that, you had a full life.
Oh yeah,
you had a full life
for sure.
As a young kid and 20 years old.
But yeah, I mean, I think what we talked about when we first started this podcast is that we needed to change something. And on my part, that's exactly what I'm trying to do with my youth group. Change shit. Number one, respect yourself.
Yeah.
Respect your music.
Your craft. Your trade.
Craft. And deliver the best that you possibly can musically to the client. That's what I'm trying to instill here. Not, like there's other shit where it's...
Throw it together, get paid.
Throw it together,
see how it turns out.
And that's the way it is.
Mi madre. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, and that whole front, that's interesting. It's like, you can say all the things you want to say about it. Instrumentalists, vocalists, it's never going to be perfect.
Never.
And it's never going to end. You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be adapting and changing. Until you're a performing member in Cobre or in Camperos or Vargas, you're never going to be at the top. And you're never going to be the best. I don't give a shit how good you are in the city.
Yeah.
Until you're recruited by one of those groups, you're not the best. So get your head out of it.
And even when you're on there, you're still freaking learning.
And those guys are always still adapting. They're always still getting...
They're doing the Al Cruzar de la Luna opera right now. And
they're getting opera trained.
For Camperos, and it was pretty cool to see them in action. Because they sound good during that,
You have a mariachi voice from Los Angeles that's rooted in Mexico that can compete with opera singers. That's
pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty dope. And so there's a lot of humble cake to be served all the way around for me, for you, for everybody. You know what I mean? And I'm enjoying my serving. I like it. It keeps me sharp, man. It keeps me wanting to practice. It keeps me wanting to. I don't give a shit how many gigs I'm playing out there. I'm in here and I'm working. I'm practicing every day. You have to do it. You know what I mean?
But for all my viewers, I got to tell Jason here, he has to practice vocalizing.
Yes.
He has to take out some songs.
I do have to learn how to sing, like actually learn how to sing, because I've always just kind of half-assed the singing.
Well, and I think if you put as much concentration as you're doing playing golpe, vihuela, guitarrón in your voice,
I could get there.
You can get there. It's all mental as well. You got to convince yourself, okay, I'm going to do this. This is the way, in your head, this is the way I want to sound.
Right.
It comes out, might come out different at first, but you work at it, and then you're eventually there. So
I got to do it. I think I see that now more than ever. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, in all fairness, I'm a guitar player first. So yeah, guitar players got to sing.
Exactly.
Got to sing, man. Got to do it. So I've been
especially take that guitar off. Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of my gripes.
So we have reached the segment of the podcast called Miguel's Gripes on the PlayMariachi Podcast.
When you have a full rhythm, when you have a guitarrón, a vihuela, and a guitar player, okay, maybe you might have a golpe in there. Maybe you might have a harp in there as well.
More than just one guy on bass and one guy on whatever the fuck, right?
So when you go up and to sing, I've seen videos, I've seen people still playing and singing at the same time. And
on a stage?
Both. No, not on stage, really. I mean, more like at a regular gig.
At a gig, okay.
And it's either one or two reasons. One, maybe because the guitar player doesn't think that the vihuelo player is going to play it right.
Support him
correct the way he wants it. Maybe it's a comfort issue. This is the
That's
way
a big thing.
But I think when you first, the image-wise, I should say, when you put your guitar down and you start singing, I think you can concentrate more on the voice, and what you're doing.
We have great examples.
And that's more of a personal
connection
with the audience.
Look at Rafa from Vargas. He always took his guitar down when he went to go sing.
All the time.
Yeah, and I'm like, I never paid much thought to that. But yeah, when I think about the videos I've seen of him playing in the 80s and 90s, like, yeah, he always takes his guitar down.
Yeah.
Now, if you
had patas supporting you,
so you really don't have to like fucking throw the guitar away. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, you're good. So performance,
So then that comes into the issue of trust. You gotta trust your compañero.
Man, I don't trust nobody.
If you can't trust your compañero in that group, you don't belong in that group. Sorry.
That's very true. If there's no trust to be had, it's not the right fit.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're still playing, like, even motivos, you know, una rosa pintada, you know, you're playing the chords. They're still playing the same exact chords.
Why are you still jamming?
Why are you still playing?
If you're not the only guy,
I got it. I got this, you know?
Yeah, there's a little pretension, right? Where it's like, I don't like how you're doing it. I'm like, well, then hire somebody else if you don't fucking like it. You know what I mean? Don't make us look bad by doing stuff like that, right? It's a little weird. But yeah, you're right. That's an awkward thing, and especially for guys who take down a lot of gigs, man. I mean, you know, we in the last month we played gigs. We played like 6-7 hours a day. Yeah. You know, sometimes you play 6-7 hours a day with a couple of different groups. It can happen, and you got to adjust,
adapt real quick.
Yeah, and there's always a little bit of a hurdle to get over at the start of a gig, and then you're like, okay, well this is good.
Yeah, but that's another thing too. That's another gripe too.
let's make a list and let's formulate all the gripes on the podcast.
Another gripe, and I think a lot of the viewers can agree on this, especially like maybe out in LA when you got, you know, there's so many groups out there. You might, you know, be playing in Bakersfield, you might be playing in Anaheim. I don't know, like, yeah, you know, you might be going everywhere and playing with different groups, obviously.
Right.
But always remember, you're there to help. Mm-hmm. You're there to help. So you've got to adjust to them. They shouldn't have to adjust to you at all.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Because if that happens, of course, what's going to happen is
you're going to clash.
I mean, you're just going to clash. So you kind of like, you know, you'll get the feel after a couple songs. Maybe the first one, you know, you'll be, you know, say El Son de la Negra, and you might throw an extra, I don't know, manico in there that they don't do, or, you know, or vice versa, and then you're just like...
It's about understanding the articulation and the relationship between the trumpet and the guitar or the vihuela. There's a relationship
for sure.
And so if you
because the accents,
the articulation, there's a one-for-one relationship, and if you're not aware of that, if you don't understand that, and you're playing whatever the hell you want to play, yeah, it sounds weird. And if you understand it, and you just kind of like, well, I don't like how the trumpets articulate, so I'm going to do my own thing. Then you're going into what you're talking about. You're just kind of being an asshole. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And, you know, fair enough. There's a compromise point, right, where it's like, well, if we're just going to play whatever, then okay, whatever, fine. You can get a little demoralized like that. You can just be like, okay, well, I'm not getting as much energy as I think I would like to get on the other side, so what am I killing my hands and my back and my fingers for, right? And so you'll slow down a little bit, and you'll just be like, well, let's just play whatever. It can happen. It's happened with a few other groups here in Phoenix. It's happened with a few groups in Tucson.
It happened last night.
Well,
with us, like I'm saying, when I was trying to...
yeah, that was tough. And we were laughing about it. I'm like, let's just try an experiment. Yes. This is something that I always like to do with certain peers and certain groups that kind of get it. Like me and Beto will be like, let's see how this looks, right? And let's try something here and like do, you know, this song, and we'll just go back and forth and see how it kind of comes out and experiment and test the water, right? You know how I play. Everybody knows how I play. Shitty. So no, I mean, I certainly don't look at myself as anything great.
I would say your strong point playing wise are your sones. Sones are like, in whether it's the old school sones or the newer style sones, you know, you
can play both.
I mean, it's down. You got it down.
I spent a lot of, you know, here's the thing about that is when I started playing at like 15, 16 in changos, I sucked at playing sones. I could not fucking do it. It took me like almost the better part of a year to be able to get that rhythm down without sounding like stumbling. Yeah. And it was driving me insane because I'm like, this can't be this hard. It's an eighth note. I was so pissed off, right? It's a quarter note and 2 eighth notes. What's wrong? And so every day I would do that. And then all the way through to college, even today, I'll take recordings that I've had since I was in high school, and I will just listen to sones reggae. I will listen to other sones that other groups have done. Now, I'll go look at videos of Roberto and Frank, and I'm like, that is how it's done. I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. That's how that's done, and that's how I'm going to do it. And so it was like a hindrance. And so tried to, I guess you could say I turned it into a strength, right? Because that's what I focused on.
Yeah.
Timing, articulation, you know, whatever arrangement you're going to play, whatever chord progression you're going to play, it's like, okay, that's up to debate, and that can be variable. And, you know, I think it gets frustrating at a point where if we agree ahead of time, this is the arrangement we're going to do, and you just don't play it that way, that gets frustrating. If you're kind of just playing whatever, then it's like, okay, well, it's kind of whatever. It's all going to be in time, right? So we're all going to just kind of work together to see what we're going to do. But yeah, that's my playing thing is play the shit right. Timing-wise, articulation-wise, speed-wise. If you're going to play fast, let's fucking play fast. If you're going to play slow, then let's play slow. But pick a thing, right? So I was getting a little frustrated because, you know, I'm giving as much as I can because I'm the only vihuela player there. So it's kind of on me to work. You ever notice how in the last...
You're sounding like my vihuela player in my youth group now.
A little bit. You notice how I'm always giving timing and cues? You know, because that's a little bit frustrating. When it's like we start too slow or we start a little too fast at a break, right? So in the last few weekends, I've always been giving timing, right? And it's worked. It's kind of come together. I'm not doing it to be a dickhead. I'm just doing it because I noticed that that's there. So let's fix it.
And that's actually a very, very good thing. I think all musicians should do that. You know, in your head, you kind of already, you know, like they pick a song. Hey, we're gonna play Los Arrieros. Right? You kind of mentally know the speed that you want to do it, so it's good. It's good to kind of set it, and it's good to tell your company, hey, let's do it, you know, at this speed, whatever, and then obviously know what arrangement you're gonna do. If you do Campero's arrangement, it's different from Vargas.
It's different from
I'll tell you that right now.
There's different breaks, there's different articulation, and so sometimes you end up getting a mix of all three, and you're just like.
That's what happens a lot.
And so you were talking about last night. So we're playing last night, and halfway through, I think the first set, you know, I don't know what it was, but I started to just let me play how I don't play, off time a little bit, and kind of weak, right? Like, you know, I have a particular way that I strum the vihuela, and a particular way I strum the guitar, and that's with my forearm and with my wrist. That's how I was taught. You know the vihuela player that taught me how to play. And that's how I play. You know, I play with some sort of power and some sort of, I guess you could say, drive, right? And so I'm just like, at the point, I'm just like, you know what, whatever. And so then I was like, hey, let me just play how half of the other vihuela players in Phoenix play. And I started doing this shit. And it was actually kind of meshing better than what I was doing previously. And I was just like, fuck me. So this has happened to me before. When I was in Tucson, not Phoenix. I was playing at Portales back in the day, and I was playing alongside another vihuela player, and he did not have any formal training. He was far older than me, but he just didn't play well, and he played like that. He played like he's brushing, like you're brushing sawdust off of a workbench, right? That's how he was playing, and I played there for a while, and I noticed that my technique and my ability to do what I was doing on guitar was starting to diminish.
That's what happens.
And I noticed that for the first time in my life, and I was just like, oh shit, and I left the group. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm gone. I'm just gone. I'm going to go somewhere else.
That's funny, that group that you mentioned, I've heard the same from a lot of other musicians that have left for that reason.
Yeah.
Because
it's a great
you start diminishing. Yeah,
it was a great planta, but place. Fuck, I can't sacrifice years of study for one person.
When you have to like really, I mean, there's a one thing called, you know, I guess adaptation to a group.
Yeah.
But when you have to dummy down way below your own standards, and the standards of a average mariachi, let's say,
it's time to go.
Yeah,
it's time to go, and that's why I'm just like, it's not right. And I've done that before, and it took me a long time to get back. It was right when I joined Tapatio, and Louis was like, "This was my audition." I was playing golpe. I went to one practice, and Louis was just like, "Yeah, I like the way you play." That was it.
Yeah, you're right.
That was it. That's all I get, man. That's all I get. It's been like that since forever. It's like, "Yeah, you're right," or Nah, I don't want. No, I don't think it's a good thing. I'm like, all right, well, fine. It's not good. It's not good. But yeah, I noticed, and we started laughing about it because we started playing really out of tempo and with no articulation, and we actually started rushing it a little bit, and it seemed to me like it was starting to fit a little bit better, and I'm like, okay, this is whatever it is, what it is, man. I mean, it happens in many groups.
It does, but the awareness is like super important. That's what makes you a good musician, when you're aware of what's going on. Why am I playing like this now?
I can't even understand what it's like to be someone who doesn't understand those things.
That's because, here we go with this, comes out the way it comes out. They either don't give a shit. Respect. It comes up back to respect to the craft, back to the respect to the music, and unfortunately, here and everywhere, almost in every city, I'm sure there's
even in Los Angeles. If you go into like East LA and you go look at the guys that are walking around playing chamba, or you go to that Mariachi Plaza where they have one group on one side and another group on another side, they really don't give a shit. Like they will. I remember sitting in there with Tapatio last time we went, and yeah, there's two groups playing on either side of the big bar in the open area, and yeah, oh god. We're just sitting there, and I'm looking at Beto, and we're just looking at each other like, do you hear? Like, I'm hearing this in one ear, and I'm hearing this in another ear, and we're just both looking at each other like, Jesus Christ, this is awful. And we're in the heart of, like, L.A. and Mariachi Central, and it happens there, too. It happens there, too, man. It's like the worst and the best, and, like, 10 yards away from each other.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is, man. I'm not going to change. That's just one thing is the voice thing. Yeah, it's a fair point. And that's a legitimate thing. And, I'm an earner. I'm a working musician. I should probably get my shit together and get on that. So that's a good point. So we'll work on that. But I'm not going to compromise 15 years of playing for anybody.
No, of course not. Of course not. That'd be a dumb decision.
Not even my own mother. Sorry.
No, and that's
not
the
gonna
thing.
happen.
Like, me on guitarron, I'm gonna play guitarron the way I play guitarron, because I'm not gonna dummy down it for
start to suck.
Or like, you're playing too loud, or you're what? Or you're
oh Jesus,
no way.
Fuck that.
No way.
There's no way I'm doing that.
As a guitarron player, I need to set that speed, and I need to make a valid point with that. Unless somebody else is singing something and they want the song a little bit faster, a little bit slower.
Like last night?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That poor civilian trying to sing.
Oh, yeah. No, it's because he came in right away. I was like, no. I was like...
When I picked up on that, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's rush it a little bit. And did you feel I was rushing the song a little bit?
Well, that's why I stayed on one day. I was just like, la, 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 la.
Like, oh, my God. It's funny. It's a funny thing, man. And it's all in good. It's all in good spirit. You know what I mean? We're all. Some people get really fucking touchy about stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Insecurity?
Probably.
I would think it's insecurity. For a fat guy, I'm very self-confident. It's really weird. I don't understand it. Maybe it's just how I grew up, where I grew up. Like I said, man, it's like I grew up at a disadvantage just being at Pueblo. So. Not much anyone's going to say to me that's going to rattle my cage.
Yeah, no, of course.
Not very much.
I think last night, when we were playing at the end of Hermoso Cariño, when I rushed that ending, and it just somehow everything just finished on time.
Yeah, it's amazing.
No, not really. That just tells you that, like, I don't know, were they following me, or was that just the speed we were going? I couldn't tell
the difference
because it was the end. I was all and it's still.
It must be following you, bro.
I have no idea.
Your work must be making stride.
I have no idea.
You're gonna have a lot of work ahead of you. Is all I can say.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
That's fine. Man, we're talking shit about people. It's funny. Not really. This is the whole point of the pod. So for the podcast, I just want to reiterate something because I've gotten some feedback on here. The podcast, in general, is not edited. If I could live stream this right now, which I'm working on doing, I would live stream it. And that is one thing that I think frightens a lot of people, is because you have to either be in your head, know what your boundaries are, what you will and will not say in public, which is smart, I think, right?
Yeah.
But the conversation that we're having and that I have with other people is a real conversation. It's how people really feel. And that's the whole point of the podcast is real life stuff in the culture, right? Now, not to put any... We're obviously not calling out names. Nobody listening to this podcast knows who the fuck we were playing with last night other than the people that we were playing with. You know what I mean? And that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's fine. I'm not one to... But some people will do that, right? They'll behind closed doors and behind this layer of comfort and protection, they'll say shit about people. It's like, we're right out in front of everybody. This could be our last podcast. YouTube would be like, you guys are negative. You guys are good. Well, fine then, no podcast. How's that? Like I said, there are certain things that I will not compromise. And I will not compromise being real and being honest and being upfront. If there's something that I don't want to say in public, then that's my discretion to keep my fucking mouth shut. And that's everybody's right in discretion, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing about YouTube is they'll be like, well, how come you're going to say this about this and not say this about that? That's my discretion. I get to choose what words come out of my mouth.
Exactly. Freedom of speech, buddy.
Freedom of speech at work. So, yeah, interesting times up here, man.
Yeah, no, I think...
I'm thinking about just calling everybody I know in Tucson. Just be like, hey, you guys want to come up to Phoenix and just take everybody's gigs? I'm thinking about it. Who's hungry? Who wants to make $300-$400 a weekend? Oh, man. Like I was telling you before we started, my wife told me... I told my wife that last night, and she's like, you're a fucking troublemaker. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of am. Don't leave me to my own devices, man. I get bored. I have attention problems, and I will stir shit up for just the sake of stirring it up because it's fun for me. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be interesting.
Be interesting. That whole restaurant thing that was the whole point of everything is that there was a restaurant and they asked me to do this. I'm like, I don't fucking want to do this. Yeah. I know how much work it is. But, you know, they were brothers and they wanted to go, and I'm like, let's go. I'm like a heat seeker, bro. You tell me to go, we're gonna go. If you don't want to go, then I'm happy to stay here amongst all my toys. I like to just sit in my office and look at all my shit. It's fun for me. Take out my guitar and practice.
There you go.
And I like it. I don't know. What more gripes, man? We're in this dark territory.
Yeah, no.
How deep do you want to go?
Oh yeah, no. I think another thing for sure, you know, is just like you said at the beginning, you know, the trumpet and the rhythm.
They have a tie,
and I'm gonna say the trumpet because it's the loudest instrument. You know, and that's the one that can make you sound good or make you sound like shit. One of the two.
Yeah, you have to have respect.
It could drag you down. It can
as a rhythm player.
Yeah,
you got to respect the trumpet section as a rhythm player.
Oh yeah, definitely, and vice versa. Because they gotta kind of like, you know, you gotta be really, really equal. Yeah. I think violins are more like the accompaniment of, you know, what we're in a song, for instance. But yeah, I mean, they have their parts, but still, trumpets are still louder.
Everybody has a part to play.
Yeah,
everybody has a part to play. Everyone should have respect for everybody else's thing, right? Or not.
And maybe I've talked about this before, maybe I haven't, but the thing I can't stand, and I don't know if other mariachis, you know, would agree, is you know, backing up civilians, man. Like,
yeah, you were losing it last night. You actually stopped the guy in the middle of his.
Well, yeah, we were singing Paloma Negra, and you know, and for the male voice, it'd be Retula. You know, unless he's a higher, you know, tenor, let's say we could be B flat straight or C, you know, derecho también.
But that was not the case last night.
So this guy starts it off. One, didn't know the timing of the song. So that kind of puts the guitarron. I can't do any scales. I'm just like, forget the scales. I already know this guy's just going to jump in whenever he jumps in. So you have to follow him. You have to be professional still and follow him. But in the middle of the song, with the break and the key
transition,
change, he went straight into like right into re. And I was like, and still he was like nowhere near that note. No. So I had to cut him off. I was like, oh no. I said, wait, well, espérate, you know. I was like, espera el cambio, and then I had to lead him back in at least so we can sound decent. Yeah, you know, because.
But then there's this thing of. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start poking in a backyard gig with a bunch of family people that are handing out tequila. Oh man, trouble tray. And that's that tray of trouble. I'm like, I'm not.
That lady was gone, huh?
I'm not touching any of that. No, I've had enough already this week and today, not so to speak. So I'm not touching any of that alcohol. I'm not in the mood to drink. But does it really matter in that backyard last night how we sounded or where we started or what our timing was? This is a rhetorical question.
For me, yeah.
Just to push you. I'm just gonna fuck with you for a little bit.
Yeah, no.
Did it really matter how we sounded or what our timing was back there?
To who?
Yeah, exactly.
To who?
It matters to me.
It matters to me, definitely.
Yeah, it matters to me a lot.
Yeah. Because
what the hell am I doing with my life if it doesn't matter? Exactly. I can spend this time going selling shit online.
Or if that's the way we're supposed to be playing, then
why practice?
Why fucking practice?
Why am I going to take my instrument? Why pick up my guitarrón? Why do any of this shit?
And another thing that really eeks my...
See, I'm good at getting... I am a fucking troublemaker.
Like, sometimes I just want to, like, pull my intestines out, man, in the middle of a gig, man, because one thing... Classic. This is classic right here. Sí, quiero cantar una canción contigo, señor. Sí me acompañan. Pero me ayudan con la letra, por favor.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you don't know how to sing the song.
Then what?
Then go sit the fuck down.
Why are you going to sing the song? No. And then, like, the music starts, right? Tan, tan, ta, da, 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 da. ¿Qué es la primera letra? Like, yo sé bien. Oh, okay, gracias. And then, like, yo sé bien que estoy afuera.
Anybody?
El día que yo me muera. I mean, they're asking for the freaking words.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to play. Okay, you are playing. And you're trying to keep that beat, but yet they're just chingando, and I'm like, dude, like, why come up and sing if you don't know
how
the
to
damn
sing or
words?
the words? Even if it's a karaoke moment and you can't sing, but you know all the words.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck it, it's fun, right?
But yeah, that's what really, because when you're put in that situation, that's when your sound completely, the violin fills, they'll come in on time, he won't be on time, we won't be on time. That's when it just becomes
you just hope that nobody's streaming that shit to Facebook.
Yeah, because
that's a possibility. So I've seen videos in the last couple of weeks. I'm like, who was taking that video? Mm-hmm. Thank God we didn't sound awful. We sounded pretty good in that video. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, there's the economy part of it. You got to hustle. You got to make money. Mm-hmm. I get it. The money is nice. I'm not going to lie. Making money is good. I'm buying a fucking house in the next 2 weeks. It's stressful, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, man, yeah, you I care. I care how it sounds. I care how it looks.
Like the guy who sang Si Nos Dejan last night. Now, that's a song you cannot come in whenever the hell you feel like.
Yeah, you have to wait for the chord progressions to
at least a 2 count before every verse. On top of everybody's doing their fills, man. Mm-hmm. You can't just come right in the middle of their fill. That's it. That throws everybody off.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that that I wish people that weren't mariachis or aren't musicians themselves, that they just get a clue. And if they're gonna practice a song, listen to that beat. When am I supposed to come in? When am I supposed to come in? But no, hombre. He came in. He didn't know any of the damn words. He kept on looking at me, and there I had to do this. And I mean, it was playing catch up. It was rust, and then it was slow down.
It's a horrible time.
Slow down. Yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare for you as a bass player and someone who cares about how you sound, what you guys look like. Mm-hmm. But then there's this attitude, this waft in the air of, oh, come on, it's just a party, it's just
this. No, it's not just that.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, those people are still going to remember, oh yeah, they couldn't even accompany this guy right because they didn't play right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will come back.
That's why you always got to be professional and just try to keep up with it. But I mean, I can't stand doing it. I can't stand backing somebody up who doesn't know how to sing. The woman who sang last night did sing, and she knew
she could sing.
She knew when it come in.
She couldn't sing all in tune, but she could sing. Mm-hmm. It was great. Mm-hmm. Man, mariachi trials of life, man. It's like fucking Star Wars.
Yeah. Another thing I've been seeing around here in Phoenix.
Man, we're still on
Facebook
Phoenix.
and on Facebook. Is the payasadas, man. Like, and I'm talking about like it's okay, I guess, swing back and forth when you're doing like a cumbia or whatever. But when you're going up there, like as a trumpet player, a guitar player, a guitarrón player, whatever, going up and dancing, getting on chairs, getting on a table. I mean, that's that's twerking. Overdone. That's overdone, and I think that's what puts a bad image on your group. I mean, it's embarrassing. And it's like
out there on Facebook.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, okay, this is in Mariachi Loco, which of course it's nobody's favorite song.
No, but by the way, people listening that are not mariachis right now, we hate playing that fucking song.
Anyways, yeah, and I've just seen how they're just dumb. They just look and they portray themselves as being clowns, and that's what it comes down to. And it's like, no wonder here. That's the norm. That's the norm around here.
It's what's expected. There's this expectation for you to be a dancing clown. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no.
I've seen it, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no wonder these people want to get out of that group, because it's embarrassing.
It really is.
It's embarrassing. Remember, for everybody in your group, all your compañeros, it's always, if we're being assholes and we're playing like whatever the hell we want, remember, it's kind of like a domino effect, but in the long run, it's how you, it just shows that you're not respecting
anything,
your compañeros at all. If you're going to be doing whatever the hell you're going to be doing, yeah, there's a line of entertainment. There's that line that you could that you can cross
a little bit,
but not go way out in the middle of and I mean, you might as well start stripping or something.
Yeah, start twerking. Make some extra tips.
I mean, that's dumb. It's dumb. And all for what? All for what? I don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe that's their kick.
We're a mariachi. Not norteño, not banda, we don't play narco corridos. I mean, that's straight up mariachi. And that's the thing over here, is that everybody asks for all these
narco
songs. I'm like, what the fuck are you asking for?
Yeah.
I'm like, si quieren eso, ask the DJ.
Yeah.
Or you should have hired another
hire a norteño group. One
time we had a gig, and they asked for nothing. The whole hour, all they wanted was cumbias.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
And you're like, if you want cumbias, put the freaking radio on there.
Go buy a karaoke machine. Go rent one. You're gonna dance all night.
So it's like,
yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough being a mariachi. It's tough being in small groups. Mm-hmm. And not for nothing, but for folks that I've come across up here that are trying to lead a small group, after doing what we were doing with that, small restaurant, trying to get a group together, it is, in all fairness, a racket. It is frustrating to have to respond to clients, to their requests, to the times, and then to have to route people up together and have them be there at a certain place at a certain time, and hope that they can play and hope that they sound good and all this shit. It's a nightmare. So for the groups that we've played with up here, I can at least meet you halfway and say, I understand that it's a fucking racket. I understand that it's stressful. And I understand that you have frustration, because I have the same frustrations when I put a group together. I'm like, thankfully, I'm very choosy about the people that I call, and they're always great.
Yeah,
I don't ever have any problems, whether it's a Phoenix musician or a Tucson musician. If I can't get people together, I won't do the gig. That's just straight up. If I can't get the people that I want to do the gig, I'm not doing the gig. Sorry, I don't care. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand that I have the freedom to do that. Some guys don't have that freedom. They need that money. Yeah. And so they can't lose revenue. So they have to just kind of go with what they have, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And so, I can at least kind of just meet you halfway in the middle and say, I understand. Mm-hmm. Especially here, you have tons of people. It's a huge city. You have 3 different or 4 different area codes, and you're trying to accommodate all of it. And with a bunch of guys... 2 guys from Tucson, we like to start shit and we like to cause trouble, and that's just how we are. I mean, I'm sorry, if you go to a coyote and it bites you, I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's the animal that you're dealing with. Yeah. So we're not coyotes. We're not going to bite you, but we're not going to make your life easy. Oh, there you go, another tocada. Oh, so I'm already getting gigs, man.
That's good.
No, I mean, like, people are still calling us from that Revolucion thing.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And I'm debating whether or not I should take them.
Take them.
I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I don't want to.
Last gripe.
Okay, one more gripe.
One more gripe.
We got plenty of gripe time. What are we doing on gripe?
Last gripe.
We've actually been talking for 40 minutes.
That's good.
Holy shit. Okay.
Last gripe.
Bring it on.
When they ask you for the same effing song
over and over,
the 7th time after you played it 3 times.
Paloma Negra, Paloma Negra.
No, me pueden tocar este. I'm like, ya lo tocamos. No lo escuché. We played it the last 2 times already. You know,
played it 3 times.
Oh
already.
My god, that's like, and then you play it and then they walk away.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, there's always going to be a struggle with it. I wonder what it's like I do wonder what the gig life is like in California, because it's bigger than Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there's enough mariachi to cover all that spread. But shit, man, imagine living in somewhere in like Bakersfield or in, south of LA and having to drive all the way around on the 405 and having to deal with that shit. You know how nerve-wracking that must be? How much time you got to put into actually playing gigs in that city?
Hell no.
That has got to be a racket.
Yep.
So for all of that stress and driving and not dying on the 405, you think that when you get to the gig, you want to be around people that are going to brighten your day a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be around guys that are nervous, that are in a shitty mood, that are anxious, like,
because you'll feel that negative energy. If you're like me, I could feel all that.
I did it to you on purpose last night. I was nice about it. I'm like, did I put you in a bad mood, Miguel? And
no.
Like, yeah, you did, you fuck. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I figured I would share some of my gripes with you at a gig.
You're alive.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Enjoy this shit. I was like, ooh, I can actually affect someone's mood at a gig. This is nice. I like this.
That's funny.
Oh man, your first podcast back, and it's just been a shit talking session.
Oh yeah, I know. I missed it. I really have missed it, and just like I said, we're a lot of adjustments now.
We're still struggling. We have these kids. I've been trying to help teach a little bit when I can, and they are coming along. It was funny. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but when the last rehearsal I was at, we were all joking because I think it's very clear to RV Weather Player that I'm trying to be a teacher and a professional and adult, and he was baiting me a little bit. He was baiting me. He's just like, no, just because you just don't like the way I play. And I'm just like, well, I kind of don't. And we're laughing about it. We're having a good time. Yeah. And I'm like, no. It's not that I don't like how you play, bro. It's just I want to work with you to make you better. Mm-hmm. You're a young kid. You haven't reached your potential yet.
Yeah.
And I saw the last time I was at rehearsal with this kid that he's actually starting to, like, he was saying, like, man, my hands and my forearm, they feel sore. What is that? Is that carpal tunnel or something? I'm like, no, dude. What that is that you're now activating groups of muscles and tendons in your arm that you had not been using before because you had different technique.
Exactly. Or that was the whole arm technique.
Yeah, and
instead of just
I don't want to say lack thereof, but different technique, right? Not how I would play. And been playing with him, it's starting to rub off a little bit. Well, actually a lot, because he is playing very cleanly and very precise, and he's getting it. And I'm like, oh, thank
God. When I play with him, we mesh really good.
Starting to come together.
It's starting to come together. And
I saw that last time I was at practice, and I was just like, man, sometimes you just got to be, like I said on the podcast, you just have to be honest and upfront and not a piece of shit. You have to not be a politician.
Yes.
You don't have to have an agenda, right? You got to be a real person, right? And we were all having a laugh because I'm just sitting there and I'm like, no, it's not that I don't not like you. It's just come on, do what I do. And in the trumpet section, they were laughing their ass off. He was making a joke about it too. He's baiting me. He's like, oh no, it's just because you don't like how I play. And I'm just like, well, no, it's not that. But it's kind of like that, and we were all just kind of laughing about it. And I'm just like, "Oh, this is a great moment. This is a great moment, man."
But he took it good. Huh?
He took it like a champ. He's growing. He's learning. Definitely. He's coming into his own now. And I saw that last time, and I was like, okay, I feel better. I gave him my vihuela to play. I was like, okay, try this, right? I'm like, I'm not fucking with you, man. There are levels to this. You try this and see how it feels and how it sounds. And it was a total game changer for him. And I was like, okay, you are moving forward. I did want to talk about that a little bit. There's being a vihuela player or a guitar player. It's not quite the same as being a violinist or a trumpet, is it? No. It's very different. No. All eyes are on you. Even as a bass player, too, right? Your jalón, your timing, your fills, how you do stuff. It's very different than being a violinist and a trumpet player, you know? I don't know how to explain that to these kids.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, the violin is one of the oldest instruments in the world. A guitarrón isn't. A vihuela isn't.
No.
A guitar.
Even
it's
a
up
guitar,
there, but
even a guitar's not there.
No.
I had this conversation with
it's piano and violin, right? I mean, that are
piano and violin are some of
the,
and
then flute,
and then you have flute, and then you have the horn, you have the brass. The classical guitar, I mean, it's had what 1870s in its current form. And I was talking about this with Candelas, with Tomas, and it's like, yeah, the guitar has not had its time like a violin. It is not. I mean, if you look in recent history, the only in recent history, in the 60s and 50s, with Andres Segovia, has the classical guitar gained any sort of prestige or any kind of merit amongst classical musicians.
What about Paco?
Paco de Lucia, he's flamenco. Now, he's a great player. He's legendary. But when you listen to interviews on Andres Segovia, he's a real pretentious guy. He really is. He makes me go like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's a pretentious, I don't want to say it, he's one of my idols. He's one of my
But he's earned it. Hey, he's earned it, right?
100%. But he's one of those guys, if you listen to interviews of him in the 60s right before he died, he is a pretentious, arrogant fucking guy. He's like, for me, the classical guitar is the epiphany of the classical world, and you have to master the. And he has this fucking. You just want to punch him in the face, but he's a He's like Yoda. He's a master, right? But it was him and his contemporaries that made the classical guitar the classical guitar. And then you have the Romeros, and you have Pepe Romero, and he's now the godfather of classical guitar. You know what I mean? Pepe Romero and Angel Romero and his brother, you know, they are the emphasis of what is a classical guitar. But you're right. It's had about as much time in the sun as the mariachi ensemble and the vihuela and the guitarrón and the golpe. Not much. Maybe 120, 130 years.
Trumpets didn't come into what, the 40s, 50s.
Well, that was into the ensemble, but the trumpets and the horns
existed,
it existed for a long time. There's a standard of classical music for horn. And so being a vihuela player, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that there's kind of an unfair thing for someone who's a vihuela player, right? Because we all know it. When we see a vihuela player, you and me, we're all focused right on him or her. We're looking at them and saying, how good are they? Because they have to be the best. And it sucks.
That's the expectation.
Yeah. I don't know
for vihuela players, that's always the expectation. They better be good.
They have to be the best.
They have to be the best. They have to be the best.
I don't know how to... I don't know. I was trying... you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm struggling with that with the kids now because I'm like, it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not even... Image-wise, even seeing a harp player. But you're really not like... You know, I think the expectation, if you have a harp player, oh, well, he better sound as good as Jarocho. If not, I'm not even going to pay attention to him.
Yeah, right? There's some unfairness.
But vihuela player is like, no, those manicos better be like on.
You have to be the best. Yes. Not your best.
No, the best.
And we all know it. I don't think anybody talks about it because it's not really fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It creates a lot of that self-conscious, like, angst, and that's not fucking right, you know? But it is there. Everybody looks at a vihuela player and we're like, that kid has it, or that's nice, that kid doesn't have it. It's just truth, right? So I'm struggling with that a little bit on how I can... I guess it's just time. It's time. It's time and dedication. A musician, as a young student, is going to be dedicated 100%, or they're not. That's just that's
what it is.
Is that not a true statement?
That's very, very true.
You're
in it, or you're not.
Or you're not. You're going to be 100% obsessed about it night and day, right? You got 6-7 hours between school and sleep, right? If you don't have a job, what are you going to fill that time with? your axe, your vihuela, your guitar.
Yep.
You're either going to do that or you're not. And if you're not, then fine. Hey, you can be a good kid. You can just be a thing. It's kind of tough when you have the one that's not. You know what I mean?
Because then when you're in that position, it sucks.
It does.
It really does suck, and you just know
you feel like
you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah,
you're not going to get anywhere. You're only going to be. He's only going to put in 60%, and
that's it.
That's it.
So what do you? You know what I mean? Yeah. How do you go, right?
And believe me, I was in that situation with my youth group, and I said that's now that he's getting pushed.
Oh, he's moving.
He's moving.
I was
because at
so
first
happy.
It was like, I'm just stuck here. I'm relaxed right here.
Oh,
I'm comfortable right here.
Jesus.
This is my comfort zone right here. I'm like, no, that's not your comfort zone.
Screw your
right
comfort
here.
zone.
You gotta make it.
Maybe adding me was a good idea because I make people very much out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I will pull you right the fuck out of there, and we're gonna be uncomfortable.
Well, that's
for a
good
minute.
balance. That's a good balance because I think the positive construct and giving them is good, but sometimes you need to kick them in the ass sometimes too, because
you need a guy who's like, look, I'm not your high school teacher that has to be politically correct and all that shit. I'm going to be straight up with you.
Yep.
And so it's just so funny that we were joking about it. I'm just like, oh man, okay, he's becoming one of the family. You know what I mean? It made me feel very happy. I'm just like, okay, good, finally, this is working. I'm like, I'm not being a jerk, am I? I'm starting to feel a little self-conscious. I'm like, man, I don't want to make kids feel self-conscious or bad about their playing. I'm trying to help. But there is a little bit of that. And I did tell our vihuela player that. I said, hey, look, dude, when you go to conferences, everyone's looking at you.
Everybody.
Get fucking used to it. Everyone is looking at you. When I was a kid and the guitar player in Changos, who's there? Everyone's looking at me. Everyone's trying, is he good or does he suck? And back then, I kind of sucked until I got good. And then it was like, okay, now I have to stay at it. Mm-hmm. I was looking at the video of the 40th anniversary when I was playing. And I was like, 18? And I was looking at that, and I'm like, fuck, I was really good at that point. I was like, I had no fear. I was trained.
Yeah.
I was getting good, right? Not like that kid that I see now. I'm just like, he is on his way there.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes, finally. Mm-hmm. Sorry I had to make you feel uncomfortable.
But sometimes you do. I mean, we had tough teachers, you know what I mean?
Oh my God, we did. We had tough instruction.
I'd go home crying, man. I'd go home crying, like, seriously.
I suck.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw myself in front of a car. And I was like this,
I know. Yeah, there was a little bit of that back in the day where you're like, fuck, what am I doing this for? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, is this me? Mm-hmm. Is this for me? Do I have the talent? Is there a line behind me ready to take my spot? I'm sure there is.
That's a good point. That's a good way to view it. You just gotta always be your best, because if not, you're gonna get fucking replaced.
Yeah, a little bit, and even amongst peers.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Pueblo in the early 2000s. There was a lot of great guitar players that were my age, even way better than me, and we gave each other so much shit. Like, just like the type of stuff where it's like, oh man, like the type of shit that you and I talk about that kind of gets these Phoenix guys a little bit like, oh my God. And it's like, you know what, dude? Why don't you just take your guitar and just go kill yourself, man?
Get the E string on there.
Just get the E string and just go hang yourself, dude. Well, we talk to each other like that just because what our compañeros here in Phoenix probably don't understand is that that's how we came up as kids. It's like being in the mafia.
Well, yeah, because when we talk shit to each other, they're like, "Damn, man, you guys are brutal." Like,
I know,
like that's the norm.
Yeah, it's the norm. We grew up like that, talking shit to each other as kids. Yeah. It was fine, but it was one of those things where, like, if you were like on stage, there was no YouTube or Facebook back in the day, so people would see you play, and if you fucked up a part, the next day at school when you came in on Monday, that's all you would hear. It's like, Jason, you sound and play like shit. You should just give it up, man. Why don't you go do something else? And there's that negative reinforcement. There's a lot of that when we were growing up. Now, I don't condone that. Not really. It's part of my upbringing, but I don't think it's fair for an adult to do that to a kid. So you cannot do that. If a kid wants to rib another kid, their peers, fine, good. You can't do it as an adult. So that's why I was struggling. I'm like, no, it's not that I don't like how you play. We need to work on this. We need to pull you into another level, right? We need to strengthen you up a little bit. But at first, it kind of sounds like I'm being that asshole adult who's making the kid feel bad. And I'm like, I do not condone that, and I can't do that. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We talked about that on the podcast about teachers and directors that call their kids out on social media and all that kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, man, you keep that shit to yourself until it's appropriate to talk about it. Like now, he's doing really well, so I'm just like, hell yeah, dude. There's a progression,
mm-hmm.
you know. And yeah, that's what I was talking to him about. Like, just be ready, dude. You're gonna get it.
Yeah,
you're gonna be in front of everybody now.
Mm-hmm.
So. Get used to that.
And that's the thing. That's how you put your name out there, and that's how you just get recognized. And I think if he pulls everything off good,
yeah,
then and for him being up there on stage by himself, being the only rhythm,
it's tough.
He's gonna get that respect, and we're like, damn, you held it together. Like regardless, you held it together. Because right now we are working in the process. The female that I'm teaching. She's gonna be a guitarra golpe player.
Nice.
And so,
you were showing me a little bit of that.
So we gotta tighten up some things there, but it's getting there. I just literally from scratch. So and I think what makes my group unique is I have the female trumpet players.
Yes.
I have a female guitarrón player.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add a female guitarra golpe player, and it's like damn,
it's a really great set that you got going there.
Soon here on our podcast, we're gonna get a female's perspective.
Yes,
of things
from Phoenix.
Yeah, from Phoenix, I think you got one in Tucson.
Potentially. So okay. What I'm hoping is when we're in Tucson that I can do interviews and stuff like that. Maybe live stream a little bit, and just the same thing that we're doing here.
Yeah.
Having a conversation. Of course, with you and I tend to go a little bit loose, but you probably noticed in my interviews with other people, I'm a little bit more...
professional?
Not professional, I would say a little more candid.
Okay.
Right? I'm a little more candid, and I'm a little bit more... I'm not as relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm not as loose and off the wire,
mm-hmm.
right? You and we're friends. We hate each other.
Yep.
It's fine. We can say whatever we want to say, mm-hmm. and people can listen to it or not listen to it. I don't care. Well, I care, but I don't care, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to have the conversation, right? We're taking the time to do this. But yeah, I'm hoping to do that. Hoping to interview a lot of people and just have their experience, because the people that I got lined up to talk to, they're very high level people.
Mm-hmm.
They're people that are like you and myself that have been in the culture for a long time, and then there's people that are been even higher and have history before you and I were even popped out of our mom, dude. It was you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want to learn about history and how things were back in that time.
Definitely. Before all this social media shit, before YouTube,
before podcasts and all this shit, yeah.
And then I think it's sad, like for like a lot of the people that did experience big things, it was only by word of mouth.
Yeah.
So even when they tell you about it now, you can't really
wrap your mind around it.
You can't fathom the thought, oh, I wish I would have been able to see it, but yeah, okay, well.
That's my job.
It is what it is.
I guess that's my job as an interviewer on a podcast, to just drive good conversation and have that stuff. But I'm hoping to be able to do that. It's been a long time since I've even
mm-hmm.
gone to the conference, like apart from just going to the casino after the concert. I've not even gone to a concert for the conference for many years.
Wow.
Many years.
We get to see Mariachi America this year.
That 100% sold me. I'm like, I don't care how much it costs to pay a ticket. I'm gonna go see them.
Yeah, Mariachi America, Jesus Rodriguez de Ijar will be here for the Tucson Mariachi Conference.
Yeah, that's really
pretty
cool. That's really awesome.
And then you got Mariachi Aslan from Texas.
From Texas, yeah. They're really good, too.
Really, really good. So
I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, it's going to be a good concert. It's going to be a good lineup. And
good show, good times.
Good energy.
Good energy. Hell yeah, that's all.
Keep yourself, guys, surrounded by good energy all the time.
Good energy.
Like sometimes I get negative, bad vibes from this guy, and I just want to punch him in the throat sometimes. But
then he starts.
I'm not tall enough.
He's well, you're at a perfect height to punch me in the throat. You'd have to jump. You'd have to get a running head start and jump to catch me in the throat, but you could do it. Oh my God, we've been talking for a little bit, man. Any last words on this podcast? I'm probably going to air this thing and everyone's going to hate it. They're like, man, these guys talk shit the whole time. They're talking about their kids. What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, I think, like I said, just surround yourself with positive energy.
Yeah.
Practice.
Always
be, always just make sure that you guys are playing the same arrangement. You guys are de acuerdo, con los arreglos, and just because it all meshes up. It lines up nicely when everybody's doing their part.
Yes.
That's number one.
Never get comfortable.
No.
Don't get comfortable that here's my 70% passing grade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. Me quedo aquí.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. Get out of here. Or push. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? Until you reach the speed of light, keep pushing.
Yeah, all the way from the first song to the last song of that gig. Always. Because the second you start... that's it. It's a bad habit.
It was so amazing. I did that to you yesterday, and damn, did it have an effect.
Yeah.
I'm just like, shit, okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to see.
Yeah.
I wanted...
Pissed me off, man.
I know, I'm sorry. I had to know if it was me. I had to know. I just had to know if I'm losing my shit. And if I am, then fair enough, dude. I'm not above reproach when it comes to my own criticism. You think you tell me shit. I'm the worst critic in the world of myself. I look at myself and I just sit there with anxiety and I'm like, oh, this is awful. You suck. What are you doing? Every time I put on that traje, every time I put on that strap for my vihuela, I'm like, fuck, man. Let's keep it together here, right? I'm never 100%. Oh, I got this. Every time I drive to a gig, I'm sitting there with angst like, man, all right, come on. Get this. Don't mess it up. And so I had to know. I just had to know. And so I did that on purpose just to see what it felt like. And yeah, it felt like shit. And I'm just like, okay, well, at least I know
that it ain't you.
It ain't me.
Yeah.
So I can live with that. I can live with that and be at peace.
Cool,
Miguel,
man.
play Mariachi Podcast.
Stay humble.
Stay humble. Follow us on Facebook or don't follow us. Oh, shit. I forgot real quick. So, the website, I have live to start selling instruments. If anybody is out there who wants to not have to deal with Facebook or Craigslist or eBay or all that shit, you know what I mean? Because they don't know, for the most part, what they have on those websites. You know what I mean? And if you're on Facebook, you got to direct message people. You got to deal with shipping. You got to have some sort of, oh my God, am I going to get the money?
Am I going to get the right instrument?
Am I going to get the right instrument? Is this person going to screw me over? All this shit. So the PlayMariachi... PlayMariachi.com, I've opened up a partition of that website to do consignments for new and used instruments, and I already have a guitarra de golpe up there.
Nice.
It's a used Candelas guitarra de golpe. It was refinished, restored. It looks amazing.
Cool.
If I had the money right now, I would buy it myself because I actually need a golpe. So yeah, if you follow PlayMariachi.com, there's a tab on there, and if you want to contact us and you want to sell your vihuela, you want to whatever you want to do, and you don't want to deal with the hassle of, it's a hassle. When I put stuff out on Facebook, I get 15 different people ask me what price, what this, what that. Can you send me a video? I'm like, oh my God, dude, it's a Roberto Morales. What do you want? So that's open now. So if you guys have stuff you want to sell, if you're looking to buy, I don't have a lot of inventory on there right now because I literally just started doing this, and we're just trying to see if we can be another voice out there on the internet to say, if you want a golpe, what you see is what you get, and here's the price. I'm not doing any of this bullshit of, oh, well, let's negotiate. You know? No. The people who want to sell their instruments through consignment, I ask them directly, what is your price? What do you want for it? I don't care if it's $2,000 for an instrument that costs $1,300. If that's the price you want, we're not going to get it, but I will put it at that price, right? That's the thing about supply and demand. You get to set your price no matter how reasonable or unreasonable it is.
Cool.
The person who buys it, that's their problem. If they want to pay that much or not, right? See, that's the problem with consumer, used and vintage stuff is that they want the instrument, but they don't like the price. So, sorry, that's the price.
Yeah.
If you don't want to pay that much, and some people say, well, it's unreasonable, you have it for that much. Well, then go find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Good luck. You know how much scouring I do in pawn shops and online auctions and garage sales and all that shit to find the stuff I found?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, it's a racket. So if you can go do that, then you can get the cheaper price.
That's right.
Go do the work.
Soon, did you also tell them about the other link that the people that really can't afford the instrument, we're going to put a black market on you to start selling your organs to get a...
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I haven't put that out there yet. It's not a bad idea. That is another part of the website that I do not have up right now. I'm trying to figure out how to do that, where there are builders out there, as I call them OTMs, other than Morales, that build stuff. And for far cheaper than you're going to pay for a used Morales or a new one. Or a new Candelas or whatever's out there. I do want to try to partner with people, but I don't know these people. They're on my Facebook. They're selling their stuff. Half of it sounds like a shoebox. Sometimes you got things that sound nice. It's just the consistency.
It's a hit or miss.
It's a hit or miss, and I can't work with people that are inconsistent.
Yeah.
I'm pretty consistent about my shit. So when I come across people that are not, I hey man, good luck, blessings, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I cannot do that. But so PlayMariachi.com. Check it out. There is a guitarra de golpe for sale right there on that website. There's going to be more, hopefully, in the future. If it's successful, great. If it's another avenue for you guys to, hey, shit, when I was a kid, I used to love to go online and look at, like, ilovemusic.com and just look at pictures of old Morales. I'm like, So for anything else, it's good eye candy, and it's good hopes and dreams. But if we start selling some shit, that'd be fun, too. Whatever. All right, guys. You guys have a good Sunday, and we'll see y'all later if there's another podcast later.